Good morning and welcome to my kitchen. Today I am making Italian lemon cookies. The first time I made them, my kids couldn't get enough. They have asked me to make them over and over again for a whole month until they finally missed the peanut butter or chocolate chips. But they were big hit, and still even my husband, although he's on keto, he will sneak one of those. You can decorate it either with icing, lemon icing, or lemon icing and a little bit of orange zest, lemon icing and lemon zest, or as my children love to do, a little bit of sprinkles, so it's really colorful. So the decision is yours. Italian ricotta lemon cookies. Welcome to my kitchen and thank you for watching. What I need today is about 4 cups of all-purpose flour, sifted, 2 sticks of butter, softened, 2.5 teaspoons of baking powder. Some recipes call it for baking soda, but baking powder works better. I've tried both ways. 2 eggs, room temperature, almost a cup of sugar. It should be 180 grams. 15 ounces of ricotta, so it's like the whole container here. 1 teaspoon of lemon zest, couple drops of lemon extract, and I also put couple drops of maple extract. And these are the ingredients for today. Before I start mixing all the ingredients, I have put generous pinch of salt into the flour and those 2.5 teaspoons of baking powder. And now I just want to mix that well. And I want to start with butter and sugar first. And every couple minutes, I want to stop and scrape the sides. Sometimes the attachment doesn't go all the way down and not all of the ingredients are mixed well. So make sure you stop and scrape the bottom and the sides. And next, I will put the extract and lemon zest. Okay, this is second time. I want to stop and scrape sides and the bottom. Sometimes the sugar stays on the bottom, sticks to the bottom, and then it doesn't mix well. It doesn't dissolve. So stopping and scraping is an important part of making cookies. Next, I will put the ricotta in. It is getting very fluffy. I will scrape the sides and the bottom one more time and add 1 egg at a time. Okay, and I'm done with a mixer. Some of the recipes will tell you to add flour on slow speed. I don't like to do that. Those type of cookies, I like to pour in flour gently by hand and mix it only with spolta. With those cookies, if you over mix the dough, then your cookies won't be that soft and fluffy. and I like them soft and fluffy. So rather than use the mixer, I just use the spolta and do it myself. So very fluffy mixture. And now time for the flour. So gently just fold in flour in portions. The same thing with kołaczki cookies, and kołaczkis are Polish cookies, those tiny little cookies that fit perfectly in your mouth and you never know how many you eat. Once I don't see dry flour anymore, I will cover and put it in the fridge. This dough will be sticky and gooey. So if you want to make cookies now, you won't be able to shape them. Everything will just stay on your hands. So that's why we put it in the fridge. It's much easier to work with the cold dough that is sticky. And I don't see any more of dry flour in, so I'm done mixing. I think I've done it once before when I started the recipe one day and finished another. And this is what I'm going to do with those cookies. You can either keep them in the fridge for an hour or two, or 1 or 2 days. So I decided to put this dough overnight and make cookies tomorrow. Today I'm alone. Tomorrow everybody's coming back. Fresh is best. So I will see you tomorrow. And this is how the dough looks like. Very gooey, very sticky, very soft. Even touching it gently, it will stick to my fingers. This is a great way to prepare something the day before you have guests. Put it in, get the dough ready, put it in the fridge, and the next day take it out and it bakes about 14 minutes and cookies are done. Good morning. Time to bake those cookies. So the dough was in the fridge overnight and now I'm ready to divide it into cookies. And usually when I make cookies, I like them a little bit smaller. So I aim for about 30 grams. If you like them a little bit bigger, of course, you can make them bigger. Just remember to adjust the time of baking. If you have bigger cookies, it might take a minute or two longer. So just make a ball and then squeeze it a little bit, flatten it a little bit. And if you have a cookie spoon like that, you can use it, of course, it's easier, but it's not exact. There will be a slight difference, so I do rely on a scale more. And my oven is preheating to 350. If you wonder why there is no more sugar in those cookies, it is because there will be icing, and icing is made of sugar. So I don't want to put too much sugar into the dough, so it's not too sweet. Once you add the icing, it will be perfect. Well, unless you have a very sweet tooth, then you adjust it to your liking. Out of this recipe, you should have about 45 cookies, if, of course, you choose similar size to mine. I've got 3 trays, and I don't need as many. Those are very easy to freeze. So 1 tray I will put in my freezer, and then I will have it for another day. Very easy to make fresh cookies again. So those 2 will go in the oven. Oven is preheated to 350. If I had just 1 tray, I would most likely put it to 345. 2 of them together here, 350 is perfect. And it should take 14-15 minutes. I will set my timer to 12 for the first check and decide if those need a little bit longer. When they start having this golden color very lightly, then it will be time to take them out. And this tray goes in the freezer for next day, maybe next week. So I start to see little brownish on the bottom. So that means 1 more minute and those will be ready. Okie dokie, those are ready. Those cookies are very soft on the inside. They have a little crunch on the outside, but they melt in your mouth. Now I will wait a little bit until they cool off and then put the icing. So for the icing, I have 2 cups of powdered sugar, 2 tablespoons of hot water, and I will squeeze a little bit of lemon juice, and I can either put lemon zest. When you zest it like this, be careful not to get the white, because that's the bitter part of it. Just make sure that you only get the yellow part. Or you can zest an orange and then put it in. Or no orange or lemon, but as my kids say, this is the best, so a little bit of sprinkles on top. How you want to do it, it is up to you. If you don't want any zest, you can put a little bit of lemon extract into it or orange extract into it. Try it. Maybe you can do one of each and then see which one you like best. So I will see you in a little bit. Okay, and this is a closer look to show you. Lightly starting to get golden, and that's how you want them. You don't want them brown, because then they will lose that softness on the inside. Time for the icing. My cookies are still warm. I don't want them completely cooled off, and the icing needs to be hot and mixed well. You want flowy, not thick, just flowy. I'm going to put the sprinkles for the children first and then do the rest. And I have to do it quickly before that sugar settles down. Or you can also drizzle on top, whatever works. Some people like to put it in a smaller container and then dip it in, and then put it, whichever method works for you. You might want to warm it up again, because this, when it cools off, it gets thicker, so it won't be that flowy. So make sure it's warm when you do it. Or drizzle, or you can try both ways and see which one works best. But that's how you do it. Cookies will be done. Enjoy the lemon flavor, enjoy the softness, freshness. Thank you for watching. Smacznego, everyone. Very, very soft. It crumbles in my hand. Smacznego, everyone. And thank you for watching. Hi again. I have decided to put a little clip together for those of you who are wondering why I have this bump on my hand. And when I move my hand, it becomes bigger or smaller, it moves around. This is a ruptured muscle, and I know it's very visible. I have it because I was in a car accident about 5.5 years ago, and I do not remember the accident. I woke up in a hospital a couple days later, and slowly things were coming together. I am very thankful I do not remember it, because I might be afraid of driving, and I feel comfortable driving a car right now. My husband and I, we were just driving on a main street, and someone was coming from a side street, not paying attention to the stop sign, driving pretty fast, straight into our car. The car was damaged, not drivable. I had broken ribs. Some of my backbones were cracked. That was the other thing, the ruptured muscle. and of course bruises. The worst thing though was I was pregnant, 5 months pregnant with my daughter, and at the time in the hospital, my husband was told by the doctors that my chances of survival are about 10%, and for my daughter, probably zero. So that was the worst thing, the stress. The rest of the pregnancy, I had to sleep on that hospital bed in my own house, not laying down, but kind of sitting and worried, just worried about how the baby's doing, if the baby's going to be okay or not. Even today, with all the technology, nobody can tell you 100% if you're gonna have a healthy baby after something like this or not. But she is. She is just a bunch of energy, crazy little girl. She cannot sit still. She keeps me on my toes. So again, if you wonder why I'm so skinny and I do eat everything I bake, because I run after her. I run after her morning till night. So she gives me all the exercise I need. I don't need any gym. I have gym at home. If I wanted to fix that muscle, I could. The doctor can sew the muscle together, and it will take about 6 to 8 weeks me being in a cast. So I'll be exchanging my bump for a scar, and for me this is not worth it. It doesn't hurt me, it doesn't bother me. There are more important things in life than, little something like this. And I decided it's okay, I can live with that. But again, I know it's visible, and some of you might wonder, like, what is this? So this is the explanation. That's why I have this bump, and it's gonna stay with me until the day I die. I'm happy I'm alive right now because, like I said, 10% chances of survival, and for my baby, zero. I'm thankful I'm alive. I'm pretty healthy. I love the baking, I love the cooking, and I have 2 healthy children. So there's lots to be thankful for. Just wanted to let you know why, and wish you a great day, great weekend, and happy baking. Thank you.